4th and goal to go to 2. 34 seconds left to go in the ball game. This is the play right now. Takes the snap. Targeted goes in. Targeted all alone. And the quarterback keeps. Wow, what a call. Nobody touched him.
Here is Jeff, the host of the Gridiron.
Well, hello there. Welcome to the Gridiron. If you give this video a thumbs up or maybe share this video, that would be absolutely freaking phenomenal. If you subscribe to my channel, thank you. If not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way next time I go live or if I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose? It's totally free of charge. But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. If you want to help support my channel out, description box below, very top link, takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. Each one has their own little perks. So once again, if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. Once again, I thank you in advance. Thank you. And then finally, just underneath that, there's another link in there somewhere. It takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. We have over 10,300 members in the group, and it is doing simply marvelous, might I add. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing, and if I got internet access, I am putting stuff in this group darn near 365. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. Please join it. You will not be dissatisfied, I promise. Well, so 4 went up, 3 went down. The only survivor, the New York Giants. How about those cowgirls? How about those homo tush push Eagles? Huh? How about those Commanders? Huh? They're all lost except for the Giants. Giants right back in, right? And only 2 games out of first place. Long way to go and all that stuff, Harry. But Bears went in there and took care of business tonight. Beat the Commanders. Caleb Williams. I like to paint my fingernails. Daboll and Jaden Dane. I thought he was supposed to be the greatest quarterback of all time. What happened? What's going on, Jaden? You guys are 3-3. What's going on? Huh? You're not looking too good, huh? But we got a big game. This is a big one. Big one. This is if we can go out there, if we can beat the Broncos, boy, this would be a, I don't want to say statement, but I mean that would. Whew. Now, of course, the problem is we got the Broncos and we got the Eagles. So I mean, it would if the Giants have any type of playoff aspirations, it would behoove the Giants to go at least 1-1 out of these next 2 games. But if you can go on the road, hey. If we were to lose to the Eagles in Philadelphia, as long as we don't get blown out like 51-3 or something like that. If it's a relatively close game, we lose 27-20, 24-17. Hey, I can live with that. We went 1-1 against the Eagles. You got to tip your cap to the Eagles. They got a great team, right? They've been pretty lucky as far as all their wins so far this year. They could be 0-6, but if we go 1-1 with the Eagles, I can deal with that, right? But if we can go on the road and we can beat the Broncos, and we'll talk about their pass rush here in a bit, boy. We can go on the road and beat the Broncos, boy. That would be really nice, really nice. The nice thing is, of course, the Giants got the few extra days off. Now you got the short week. The Eagles had the short week. The Giants had the short week. So the Giants, obviously prevailed with coming out with the W, right? But now we got it's like 10 days or so off. So we got some time to recuperate. Anybody, a little banged up, nicked up or whatever like that, hopefully we can, get some guys back. It'll be interesting to see if John Michael Schmitz can come back. Slayton with that hamstring, we got some guys a little nicked up, but nothing too absolutely horrible as far as what I know anyway. So, but this here, right? Of course, like at the time, it doesn't seem like it's anything really bad or whatever like that. But I mean, it just, Things happen, right, throughout the course of the season or the seasons. Something happens, and then, of course, it winds up being something bad, right? And then everybody, it gets made an example of, right? So this year, quite possibly here, is going to be that example, right? Remember the time that stupid moron Brian Daboll, the coach, remember the coach of the Giants? Remember he stuck his head, hey, what's going on here? How's it going? Hey, yeah, remember they lost a draft pick because of that? Yeah, we can't be doing it, right? So this might be the example that gets set for the rest of the league and the Giants and all of that. And, I mean, you're not supposed to. It's like the no enter zone, right? Do not cross this line. And like I think Scatterboo was poking his head in there, and Daboll's going and so it was not the right thing to do. I mean, I can understand what Daboll, I guess he was talking about, like it was he was probably going to go for it on fourth down and maybe burn a timeout if it was going to be really fast, if Dart could get out of there real quick. But so this will be a lesson learned for the Giants, a lesson learned probably for the rest of the league and all of that with this blue tent. They take it pretty seriously. And the thing is Mr. Mara, okay, is on the other side of it. We're going to talk about that just as I start reading this article. So I mean, it's hopefully will be interesting to see. Hopefully, it's not anything where you wind up losing like a first or a second round pick or something like that. Because the Giants could use all the picks they can get. So if they are to lose a pick, hopefully it's a later round pick. Hopefully, right? Because they lose it like a first round pick because of this. I mean, it's not as bad. Well, from what I think, anyway, as like doing some tampering or something like that. You know what I mean? So if you would, those seem to you pay the penalty for with tampering and all that. I mean, hopefully, just sticking your head in there. Hey, how's it going, or something like that, or whatever is. But there are. It's like I don't know. It's like getting you park in a handicap space, right? The first initial is like could probably possibly a $250 fine. The second offense could be $250 fine plus some community service. The third offense is that you might have to spend some jail. So it's like each offense gets worse. So maybe this is like the top, right? The top, right? It's like maybe a fine, $100,000 fine or something like that. Okay. But it's hopefully Brian Daboll doesn't do this ever again. But the Giants could face massive punishment as an NFL investigates the Jaxson Dart situation. The Giants may have finally found their franchise quarterback in Jaxson Dart, and head coach Brian Daboll couldn't hide his excitement. Yep. The 25th overall pick led the Giants to their first win of the season in Week 4, followed up by helping the New York topple the defending Super Bowl champions Philadelphia Eagles in Week 6. And I venture to guess we would have beaten the Saints if we didn't have the 842 turnovers. Right? However, Dart briefly left the field for concussion protocol during the Eagles game, prompting Daboll and rookie running back Scatterboo to rush to the sideline tent. Those actions could carry significant repercussions for the Giants, and they could even lose a draft pick. What happened during Jaxson Dart's concussion protocol incident? Well, Dart left the field late in the third quarter of Week 6 game after taking a hard hit from Patrick Johnson that forced him into Eagles defender Azeez Ojulari. Dart grabbed his head on the turf, but was able to jog off under his own power and entered his blue medical tent for evaluation. Daboll and Scatterboo both entered the tent while Dart was being assessed, raising immediate concerns about compliance with NFL concussion protocol. The head coach was even seen arguing with physician Dr. Scott Rodeo, or Rodeo, I'm not sure, both clarified but clarified later that he had apologized to him. I apologized directly to our team physician, Daboll said after the game. We were getting ready to go for it on a potential fourth down. I would have burned a timeout if he could have come out, if he could have came. If Dart would have been available, we would have burned a timeout, right? Given Dart whatever time to get out, get his helmet on, go back in the game. But I was asking how long it was going to take. You want your guy out there, not at risk of anything, though. I just stuck my head in to see how our quarterback was doing. Daboll added Friday. I mean, it's funny. It's like you don't see anybody else do this. You know what I mean? It's in no way would I want a player to come back out there that wasn't ready to play. I have great respect for that process. However, the NFL has strict rules forbidding coaches or players from entering the medical tent during a concussion evaluation. According to Tom Pelissero, the league has initiated a joint review with the NFLPA and warned in a memo to all 32 teams that violations motivated by competitive considerations could result in reprimand, remedial training, fines, and or the loss of draft picks. Now, hopefully, it just, as I said, it's like, if you go into a handicap parking spot, right, and you got a sign there, first offense, $250 fine. Say second offense, $250 fine, up to maybe 30 days in jail or whatever, right? Third offense, but so each offense gets worse. So hopefully it's you get a little slack on the wrist. I mean, $100,000 fine, right? But hopefully it's not a loss of a draft pick. That would not be good. That would not be good. The NFL is taking this very seriously. No one is allowed to go in. The league called the NFLPA next morning to start a joint review, and the Giants face a potential fine and also the possibility of a lost draft pick depending upon how this plays out, Pelissero reported. Hopefully it's just a fine. Given Daboll's admissions that he was trying to gauge Dart's readiness for a potential fourth down play, the Giants are bound to face some kind of fine, with the possibility of losing a draft pick also open. Meanwhile, Dart, who was ranked 29th in PFSN's QB impact metric, re-entered the game early in the fourth quarter and finished with 17 out of 25 for 195 yards and one touchdown while adding 58 yards rushing and another score to lead the Giants to their second win of the season. So, what we got here? All right, here we go. We got a little bit more. All right, this is from the New York Post, right? The NFL sent out a reminder about the league's concussion protocol requirement following Brian Daboll's actions. Giants head coach had to apologize for his behavior during the team's 34-17 win over the Eagles. While quarterback Jaxson Dart was being evaluated for a concussion, Daboll could be seen yelling at team physician and peering his head into the blue medical tent. The concussion protocol explicitly requires that only medical personnel deemed essential to the care of the athlete may be present for the tent and or locker room evaluation. In other words, stay the out. This includes a team physician best qualified to evaluate concussion, the club's assistant trainer, and the sideline unaffiliated consultant. The memo, which was obtained by Pro Football Talk, said no other individuals are permitted in the tent or locker room during evaluation. This includes coaches, front office personnel, and or other players. Clubs are responsible for ensuring compliance with this requirement. Daboll explained that he wanted to know how long the evaluation would take on his fourth down decision when his fourth down decision loomed. The NFL initiated a review into the incident on Friday, which will be conducted jointly with the Players Association to investigate whether the Giants and Daboll adhered to concussion protocol and clearing Dart to return to the field. Teams can be fined up to $150,000 for first violations of the protocol. So I think the Giants would take $150,000. I mean, I couldn't do that, right? But hopefully the teams can be fined up to $150,000 for first violations. This would be a first violation. Okay, hopefully the Daboll going in is not the first violation, and Scatterboo would be a second violation. That would not be cool. Hopefully this all just falls under the umbrella of the first violation. Let's hope, right? So it would be just like a little slap on the little fine. Okay, I'm sure Mr. Mara's wouldn't be happy about dishing out that money or whatever, but yeah, that's all it requires. Yeah, okay, instead of losing a draft pick or anything like that, okay, and hopefully we all learned a huge lesson. Stay away from the blue tent during the concussion protocol. Stay away. Right? The club employee or other member of the club medical staff knowingly and materially fails to follow a mandatory step of the game day checklist, the club and the individual violating the protocol will be subject to discipline as set forth in the CBA. In addition, a club employee or other member of the club medical staff knowingly, willfully, and materially interfering with or preventing a concussion examination shall constitute a violation of the NFL concussion game day checklist and will subject the club to discipline. Discipline may include reprimand, remedial training, fines, and the loss of draft picks if it is determined that competitive considerations motivated the club's failure to comply with the protocol. Daboll said he apologized to the doctor, which was fine and all of that, but the foul was already committed. Giants co-owner and team president John Mara, who was on the NFL's Health and Safety Committee, said that he addressed the incident with his coach. I spoke to Coach Daboll this morning about approaching the medical tent last night, Mara said in a statement. While I firmly believe, as he has stated, that he was not trying to influence the process in any way, he understands that the appearance of going to the tent is inappropriate. We have protocols in place as a league to ensure player safety, and we need to allow our medical staff to execute those protocols without interference. We understand the situation is under review by the NFL and the NFL Players Association, and obviously we will cooperate fully. So once again, hopefully this is just, hopefully we'll slap on the wrist and, we can get maybe just a fine out of it. Okay, we'll get a fine out of it, but I said it's a draft pick or draft picks. Now, it's going to be interesting to see because, obviously, apparently 2 people, right, went into the tent, right? It was, at different times, right? So you had Coach went in there, and then, of course, Scatterboo poked his head in there, too. So this is something we're going to have to wind up keeping an eye on, right? Hopefully that wasn't 2 incidences. Hopefully this is all, this with Dart going in there, hope that it just falls under 1, and hopefully we get, maybe they might have some type of training or reprimand or a fine, but let's hope not, because the Giants could use all the draft picks they can get, right? Even if it's a later round pick, you get some good quality depth at a position. The Giants could use some good depth at many positions, right? So if we lost like a 5th round pick or a 6th round pick, that could, that's not too good, right? So, but hopefully we all wind up learning from it, right? And hopefully next time somebody goes into concussion protocol, right? Hopefully Brian Daboll will stay away. Right?